I'm Danny Nugent, and I work for Novation as lead product designer.
What's your favorite knob or fader or switch on a piece of gear, and why?
My favorite knob is on the Summit or on the Peak synthesizer, the filter one, because it's the biggest one, and it's the one that you always grab. Yeah, and it also just feels really good, like really sturdy.
Yeah.
It got a lovely kind of action to it. Like,
What's the bit of kit that you have made that you're particularly proud of?
I think it has to be the Summit the synthesizer for me. Yeah, and it's I got to work with Chris Huggett, and yeah, so working with Chris Huggett, obviously a legend in synth designer,
And sadly passed away.
sadly passed away. Yeah, but working with him and being able to design this huge flagship synth was incredible. Yeah.
But how do you see the gear that you guys make in the landscape of music?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So particularly with like Beacon Summit, big polysynths, lots of hands-on control. We see it as like a very kind of performative instrument, particularly with the Summit as well. But now you got the keys there. Yeah. So being able to play, tweak, perform, and also just generate sounds really quickly. But I also see it as a really deep sound design instrument. Yeah, and it's like easy on the surface, but within like the menus and the mod matrix, you can just take it to places where, well, crazy places really.
What music has inspired you to make the gear that you make?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So I think it's a bit of everything. When I was younger, I got into a lot of like IDM, things like Apex Twin.
Yes.
Mostly worked with Apex Twin on the Apex Station. Yeah, Warp, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But generally, a bit of everything really.
Yeah.
It's easier to say the music that I'm not inspired by, I guess.
Yeah.
Country music hasn't really affected my synth designing skills, but but no, yeah, and also. What's really inspiring is also seeing what people do with your products as well. Like, I spend a lot of time seeing what music are people making with our products. It's always surprising.
What's the most surprising tip, trick, or technique that you discovered about a piece of gear that you made?
Okay, so in the Summit, we recently did an update where we added panning. So and we already had some panning control in there, but we added it to the mod matrix.
Yeah.
And the surprising tip I learned is we've got audio rate LFOs. So you can now modulate the pan at an audio rate. So you can tune your pan to like a C.
Yeah.
And what's happening is your speakers are actually going up and down. It's like doing stereo amplitude modulation on your speakers rather than, and it sounds good.
How did you get into music gear making?
Oh yeah, so I guess it started. I did a degree in music technology, and my final year project in the third year was how to interact with music technology. Yeah. And I initially saw Bjork play Glastonbury on TV, and she had this React tape.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want one of those. Looked at the price, and it's like thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
So I made my own. That was the budget. And then from there, I worked in music shops.
Yeah.
Got to know the people at Novation. I've moved into Novation, moved into QA, and then kind of got into design from there. So it's just kind of a nice natural path.
How do you most often start on a new piece of gear? I mean, where do the ideas come from?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So a new idea, it can come from lots of different things. It could just be chatting with people. We work with loads of smart people, and those people have ideas. So we really include the team, see what ideas they can think of.
Yeah.
Often, sometimes, like for example, Peak and Summit, Chris Huggett was just experimenting with FPGA.
Yeah.
And kind of came in with like a prototype of that.
Yeah.
And then was like, actually, we could turn this into something quite exciting. This sounds good. And then there's other things that we just kind of like, we just see what's happening in music, see what's happening out in the world. It's also seeing what problems we can solve. Like, what do people struggle with? What workflow and things can we do to make things easier? So things like the circuits, it was all about getting people into kind of like doorless music, but in a kind of affordable way.
Yeah.
So like the circuit, you get 2 polysynths and a drum machine.
Yeah.
But it's also really quick to pick up. Like the whole idea was like within 5 minutes, you need to have made a loop.
How do you know when a piece of gear is finished?
I think we know it's finished when we're playing with it, and it's like we're having more fun playing with it than continuing developing it. It's getting finished because like it's getting harder and harder to actually continue doing work. But
That's actually a great answer, because that means it's becoming fun, right?
yeah, it's really fun. Because obviously we see these like products like right from the start. At the beginning, it's just like, oh, it's just making sawtooths. It's just doing like one thing. seeing it all come together and yeah. And I think when we know it's really done, it's like when we send it out to the world and we start getting all the feedback, and that's an amazing moment.
What is the best creative or production advice that you've ever heard?
Best production advice is take a song that you like, put it into your DAW, and chop it up into all the different sections. Give each section a little name. Like this is the intro, and it's got a rising melody. And so, like, do a nice description. Don't really need to go into too much depth. Delete a song. Make your own song underneath. Because what we've had, a load of people get stuck in that 8-bar loop. I made a really good loop, but this is just like, it's always like paint by numbers. Once you've deleted that song, like even change the tempo or something, and you make something completely different, and you'll finish an entire track.